Shalom Evracha, it's Yud Ches Lechodesh Elul Tovshim Pehei, Thursday Pashas Kisavoy. There's a very famous Medrash that many Sfarim talk about in Pashas Kisavoy, in the Pasha of Bikurim, that says, Ra Moshe Rabbeinu saw She'asid Habayis Lichorev. A day will come when the Beis Hamikdash will be destroyed, and we won't have any more mitzvahs Bikurim. Moshe Rabbeinu was very concerned. We will lose this opportunity of bringing Bikurim to the Eibishter. Amad, the Tikain, Gimel, Tfilas, Bayoim. Moshe Rabbeinu instituted the mitzvah and the chiyuv to daven to the Eibishter 3 times a day in place to substitute this mitzvah of Bikurim that took place once a year. All the Mefarshim and all the Sfarim and all the Darashanim want to understand the connection between these two things. Moshe Rabbeinu was terribly concerned that Klal Yisrael will lose Bikurim, so in place he was mesakein the mitzvah of Tefillah Gimel Pamim Bayoim. Rosh Hashanah is called Yomi Ditzloisa in the Zera Kodesh, the day of Tefillah. And here we're getting some sort of insight what Gimel Tefillahs Bayoim are. They are to replace Bikurim. Why does Tefillahs replace Bikurim? And what does that mean for us? As we're standing just over a week from the Heilige Day, the Yom Ditzloisa, the Yom of Rosh Hashanah, Tovshim Peivav, Haba Aleinu L'Toiva. Let's learn together Nifla Digishtikul, a short piece in Zera Shimshon, Beis, Pashas Kisavoy, and perhaps we'll have some insight into understanding the Chashivas of Bikurim and how that is represented today with our Gimel Tefillas Bayoin, and hopefully we will have a chizuk in appreciating Tefillah, understanding how Tefillah works, and with that our Tefillas will be poil in Shemayim to cause Yeshuas and Refuas and Brachas Leroiv and Ashpois V'chal Tov Selah. Zog the Heilige Zera Shimshon, the Pasuk says, Ubasa el HaKohen asher yeh b'yomim hahem. You come to the Kohen that's going to be there today, says Rashi. What does it mean, the Kohen that's there today? Eilocha el Kohen shebe yomecha. All you have is the Kohen that's living today. Don't say, okay, today we don't have the Kohanim we used to have. There used to be great tzaddikim and great talmidei chachamim and luminaries that for them it was worth to go to bring the Bikurim. Today, to Dor Yasam, Shvachadoiras, there's nobody there in Beis Hamikdash. I'm not going. Says the Pasuk, Asher yeh b'yomim hahem. He is the Kohen today. Go to him. Frank the Zera Shimshon kasha matzorich b'kal lanoshim gedolim. Why would a person say, I'm not going to the Beis Hamikdash to bring Bikurim because the Kohen isn't the greatest tzaddik? Bishloimeh yehaveh b'makom ha'ira'ah. If we're talking about you need somebody to give you a psak, you need somebody to decide your din Torah between you and your friend. It makes sense. I can say, we used to have a Rav Moshe Feinstein, we used to have a Rav Henkin, we used to have Gedolei Hayra, and to them I felt comfortable to go. But today I don't have. On the pasuk will say on that, go to the dime today. That all makes sense. That will be something that we can understand. Don't say that yesteryear we had way better and only to them it's worthwhile going. Today there's nobody to go to and therefore I'm not going to go to Din Torah. That is wrong. Every generation has its people that are appointed by Hashgacha Pratis. What exactly does a Kohen do? All he does is he is a Mekabel the Doiren. You put the Bikurim, you have your little pomegranate, you have your te'ena, you have your fig, or whatever it is, in a basket, and you give it over to a Kohen. As long as he is a ben achaben to Aaron a Kohen, he is good. So why would a person say, I'm not going to the Kohen today, he's not a big tzaddik. Why does he have to be a tzaddik? To do nothing, to pick up the Bikurim and take it. Over Kushazu, Hegesh Afar Ramban. Ramban asked this question. That's question number 1. Question number 2, Va'oid. V'amarta elav she'encha kofi toiva. The pasuk says, V'amarta elav, he got it yayoim. Tell him, says Rashi, you tell him that you're not kofi toiva. Frag the Zera Shimshon, Ma tzorech sheyom hazeh. Why do you have to say you're not a coffee toiva? Of course you're not a coffee toiva. Haloi ma'asav mechichem aleo, she may be bikurim. What's the person doing? He's bringing bikurim to recognize the Eibishter's kindness, to say, yes, the Eibishter, I want to thank you for causing my tree to grow and me to have fruits. So the mitzvah of bikurim in itself, in its very essence, is a mitzvah of hakaras hatoiv. So why do you have to say it? She'incha coffee toiva. Isn't that obvious? And I would add a third question. What v'amarto elov? It looks like from the pasuk, you're saying it to the kohen. Why do you have to say that to the kohen? She'incha coffee toiva. These three kashas are the kashas that he asks, and here comes the teretz. V'yesh loima. The chodem teretz says, b'yerech haverta. One kasha answers the other. Lefisha mitzvah he. The mitzvah is shakoyim aniach es yadoi tagas yad bailim. Part of mitzvah's bikurim is that the kohen puts his hands under your hands, under the bailim that bring the fruit, umeinif, and they pick it up together. And they shake it to all sides like we do with the lulav. We take it to the right, to the left, mizrach, ma'ariv, tzaf and dorim, malamata. Why do you do that? The ikar atznufa, the tachlis, the objective of picking it up is latzor, ruchos rois, u'geshomim, u'tlolim roim. Exactly the same Gemara legabe lulav. We shake it to the four sides to stop winds that are too strong, hurricanes, rains that are too strong, they're too nasty, that will destroy the crop. So when we pick up the basket with the kohen, what we're doing is we're causing that next year we should have shefa toiv, and the rain should be the way it should be, and the winds should be the way it should be. Says the Zera Shimshon, since that's something the kohen has to accomplish, a guy can say, when I was younger, my father used to take me to the Beis Medrash. We had kahanim that were tzaddikim, gemurim, kedoshim, utahorim, balaruach hakodesh, balamoifsim. When they picked up the basket, and then the winds ran a mile, they were very afraid of this kohen picking it up, and they had the koyach and the ability to hold back those bad winds and that bad rain. But today, this kohen is not somebody that I respect. I remember him when he was 2 years old. I'm not going to give him my bikurim to pick up. And that we say that's not so. That's wrong. Go to the kohen of today. Yes, the kohen of today can pick up the basket and cause to hold back the bad winds. Batamhu. Ki Hashem yir l'leiva. We hear a chiddush here in the Zera Shimshon. V'lav deliver poinel l'mayla. This man was appointed. There's nothing that is a coincidence. This person was given this position. Hashem knows what he's doing. Hashem saw to it. He's a kohen, and he is today in the Beis Mikdash. It's bashkocha protis merduk dekes that he should pick up the basket with you, and he will hold back those winds. That's reason number one. Reason number two, for oid sheba asiyas hamitzvah hashefa mispashit ma'olam b'chesed Hashem. Doing a mitzvah itself is extremely powerful, even though if you're not the greatest tzaddik, even though you're not a kaddish. Mitzvahs themselves have inside them an energy to cause shefa tov beyond our imagination. All the olamos shake, all the olamos stop downpouring shefa tov when we do a mitzvah. You're not a makubal, you don't know about shemus and sirufin and all that Kabbalah entails. Doesn't matter. You blow shofar, because Rahmana Amatiku. What happens when we blow shofar is absolutely incredible. The mitzvah itself is so powerful. It's so intense. It shakes the worlds in a way that a person on this world doesn't have the capacity to understand and to analyze what's taking place. Therefore, go to a kohen today. You're doing a mitzvah. That's going to be the cause to stop the ruchos rois, the talim roim. Says the Zera Shimshon, if so, we can understand why a person has to say she'incha coffee toiva. She'inei eila ruchos rois, the talim roim. These bad winds that come, roiv chachmei tavo imrim. Most scientists will tell you, why is it that sometimes we have this hurricane and that hurricane, this storm and that storm? They'll tell you shein bohem me ashiva koich veleches. There's the 7 stars, the 7 koichos, the 7 mashpiyim, you have the 12 mazalois, and there's a world of teva, there's a world of mazel, there's a world of koichvei leches. The Shemi Yomi Adam, a man will say, Mashin is perachti b'sadi v'karmi b'shana azu, eine mekoyach tveles hakoyen. You say it's not because the kohen's davening, ela ki amazel v'ateva hoyakach. The teva caused there was no winds last year. There was no winds because punkt this year, you know the calculations. Every so often it happens. Every so often you have a good year, a bad year, and you won't appreciate the kohen. The chen is zero v'marta elav dafka. You tell the kohen, thank you so much for last year's picking up the baskets, because every time you picked up the basket, you caused to hold back those ruchas rois. I appreciate that. I recognize and I understand that it was because of the mitzvah that we had a good year and we were blessed. We were fortunate. We were lucky to have this grow the way it grows. So I think the Zera Shimshon is trying to say, Bikurim you bring to the Eibush, you understand that. You have to express once again that you have a curse to the Kohen. From Marta a love. It was the Kohen's mitzvah, the Kohen's tefillah that caused this Shefa Toiv. And if this is the understanding of mitzvahs Bikurim, to understand it's the mitzvahs that cause our Shefa. As Ramban writes in the end of Parshas Boy, a person that doesn't know this Yesod doesn't have a chelik of Torah's Moshe. She'ein behem teva u'mikra shel oilam klal. There's no nature, there's no things that just happen on their own. So how do things happen? How is a person zoicha to Shefa, and what holds back the Shefa? Says Ramban, Elo, im yaseh mitzvah, yatlichen is charoi. If you do a mitzvah, that will give you schar in this world, Shefa Toiv. V'im yaseh aveira, yachrisena oinshoi, hakoil bertzoin chalatoiv. With the rotzen of the Eibush to depend on mitzvahs and aveiras, that brings Shefa and minimizes Shefa. That's the Yesod Ramban writes, is what Yitzias Mitzrayim teaches us, and that's the Yesod Kala Torah Kula. Every single day, before Shemona Esrei, we say the Parsha of Yitzias Mitzrayim. The introduction to davening is always with Yitzias Mitzrayim. Mincha that we don't talk about Yitzias Mitzrayim is because we are based on the Yitzias Mitzrayim of Shachris that is still working for us. Why do you have to be masmech kula l'tefillah? Why do you have to have Yitzias Mitzrayim first? Because you cannot daven Shemona Esrei without first knowing this Yesod. The Yesod of Ramban, the Yesod of a Yid, the Yesod of life. There's no teva or mikra shalonim klal. We have to understand that and know that. Then we turn to the Eibishter and we daven to the Eibishter after we recognize there's no teva or mikra shalolim. There's no nature. There's no kochva leches. There's no other forces. It's all about you, Eibishter, and you told us it's about our mitzvahs. And we are the ones that bring down the shefa. So that if we pour our hearts out to the Eibishter with this mitzvahs hatfilah, and then we are zoicha to bring down das, to bring down refuah, and bring down parnasa, because we understand and we recognize that this is what's bringing it. This is what's causing it. Ra Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu saw Beis Hamikdash asid licharev ubekurim asidim lespatel. Bikurim is going to become bottle, and people won't have where to learn this lesson from to understand with all certainty, with all clarity. There's no teva mikra shaloilam. There's no koichveleches that are causing thing, and there's no mazalois that are causing and bringing our destiny. Hiskin gimel tfilas bayom 3 times a day. Baruch ata Hashem, choinen adas, Baruch ata Hashem, roif echoil am Yisrael, Baruch Hashem. And Mavarech is am Yisrael b'shalom. Mavarech Hashanim, and so on and so forth. It's all you, the Eibishter. We say it 3 times a day to compensate what we're missing with Bikurim once a year. That intensity of the Bikurim once a year was so great that sent a message to Yid that now he realized with every fiber of his being, with 100% clarity, She'ein chakafi toiva, in the Beis Hamikdash, standing there on the Mokav of Ashuras Shechina, became so clear. Now we have to daven 3 tefillas a day to get to that clarity. And this is the preparation for the Rosh Hashanah, Ba'aleinu the Toiva. When we enter into Rosh Hashanah with this understanding, with this belief, with this clarity, this certainty, She'ein bem teva mikra shalonim klal. It's our mitzvahs, it's our aveiros that cause the shefa
and the lacking of Shefa, then we'll pour out our hearts out on Rosh Hashanah, Zachrenu, Kasvenu, L'chaim, Tov, and Shalom, and we should be Zeicha to Shnaz, Gula, V'Yeshua, to Hashanah, Tov, and Mesukah. So they should help from our Tfilah, should be Niskabel, B'Yom, and Tzloisa, we should be Zeicha to all Yeshuas and Refuas, and the Schus of the Heilige Zera Shimshon, Yogin Ba'adenu, Levasha, B'Yeshua, V'Rachmim, Kol Tov, Good Shabbos.